Well, the Star Trek Origins movie seems to be coming to a reality. This has been talked about for a while, and actually, the Tachyon Pulse podcast. Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast. He likes it when I do the accent. Was ahead of everybody on this, and was talking about how they were scrapping Star Trek 4, the Abrams version, and going forward with something like this, which is a very, very interesting move, and actually shows that Paramount, Skydance, has lost a lot of faith in Secret Hideout, and really it doesn't have much plans with them going forward at the moment, which is really, really interesting. Now, we're about to hit the Star Trek 60th anniversary, and we're going to have a dismal 60th anniversary. This is kind of sad. There's really not much going on. We're going to have like 10 episodes of Starfleet Academy. We're going to have 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds Seasons 4, and that's it. And so no big festivities, no nothing. I might go to the Star Trek Las Vegas convention again, just because they're going to have a big original series thing. It's kind of one final hurrah. But they're going back to this, and there's good and bad about this. And I'm optimistic and also I'm scared at the same time. A lot of mixed emotions on this, so I'll have to get into and break down why in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things Star Trek. Really appreciate you guys being here on JDA's Talks Trek. This channel's grown really crazy over the last few days, and I appreciate everybody for watching. I am a sci-fi writer, and so I come at this from a writing perspective, and I have my trilogy out right now on crowdfunding. It's called The Valiant Frontiers, and I wrote novels, and these 3 novels are just everything you'd want out of a space exploration situation. So each one of these is its own science fiction concept. I lean hard into the science fiction, just like The Next Generation used to do. And I also have a wonderful cast of characters who I think you'll really enjoy. So check this out. Support our channel. Grab this today in the description. You can get all 3 ebooks. It's $15 just for the ebooks. And that's $5 an ebook. It's just like you buy them on Amazon. And I appreciate you guys for checking things out and making us a success. Get us to 100 backers. Thanks, guys. It's in the description below. And let's get into this news. So, after breathing life into high-profile IPs like Spider-Man franchise, which they did Homecoming, and Dungeons & Dragons, Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are looking to boldly go where no directors have gone before with a popular franchise. I hate the way that the media does this. This is punny. They're boldly going. Get it? It's Star Trek. Oh, gosh. Oh, well, it's a very talking down to the audience when they do this type of thing. Sources tell Deadline that the duo are coming on to write, produce, and attach to direct a new original Star Trek film for Paramount. They will produce under the Gold Day banner. Plot details are being kept under wraps for now, but sources say that their film is a new take on the Star Trek universe, not connected to any previous or current television series, movie, or prior movie development projects. Now, this is going to be Star Trek Origins, and we already know this. And so it's kind of connected, and we know this. And so I'm going to go into what my thoughts on what this will be. And it's going to be a prequel, and it's going to be leading up to the events of the original series where no man has gone before, specifically, and that is what we're going to have. So this pitch falls in line with Skydance founder David Ellison's recent comments in an earnings call where he said the next Star Trek film would not be a sequel to the Chris Pine-led series, but something different with new actors. While not confirmed, sources add it's likely new characters will be featured in this version. Now, I don't think that they're going to go completely new characters, like I said. I think it's going to be a young James Kirk or whatever, who's going to have to like meet Spock and go on an adventure and meet McCoy, and then they'll have like some diversity hires in there also to make sure it's not a bunch of white men, and then they're gonna round up and they're gonna it's gonna be tropey, right? It's gonna be the found family, right? Because that's kind of what Dungeons and Dragons did in that movie, and the found family. What's important, and this is what it's important that we do this together, right? All of these have the same themes: together, family, right? Even though it's not real family. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And this is our Star Trek family. And then they're going to all get assigned to the Enterprise at the end of it or something like that. That's my theory. So we'll see if that comes true. Mark this on Saturday, November 15th, 2025. If that's what the movie ends up being, we could say that we just completely called the movie first. I think it's pretty easy because I think these Hollywood types don't really deviate from that formula very much. So interesting here. They have shown a knack for delivering scripts with new and fresh takes on existing IPs, adding a fun and lightness that differentiated them from other film franchises. So this is a scary thing for me because to me, Star Trek 2009 was already a fun and lightness parody of Star Trek, and it was caricatures of the characters. You have Cadet Kirk hiding under the beds of girls. You have Spock fist fighting on because he's such a strong Vulcan, and you have McCoy just cracking jokes, and that was in between like this like lens flare speedy action, right? So we already have that. We already have this fun redeveloped version. What they need to do is actually do the opposite of that. And if you really want to save Star Trek, you do something where it's not just like some action film where they have to like fight the Klingons or something. You do something, which is unfortunately probably what it's going to be. You have to do something that actually has a sort of scientific element to it, where they're actually working with something that's a scientific phenomenon in space, and play it serious and treat your audience like they're intelligent people. I don't see that happening here. Now, Spider-Man: Homecoming, not a bad movie, but it was a silly, lighthearted take on Spider-Man where they changed things and added Zendaya as MJ instead of Mary Jane, diversity cast swap, right, to push that sort of new Hollywood agenda. And it was an okay movie as it all went, but it kind of felt wrong as Spider-Man because you go back to the Tobey Maguire stuff, that's what Spider-Man actually should be, right? That's in line with the comics, right? And so this version of it, while it did very, very well, and worked okay, and actually, but it had that element to it, right? Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is a parody of Dungeons and Dragons. It is also the same thing. You have this whole diversity cast where they kind of don't make it feel like Dungeons and Dragons. It feels like a parody of fantasy, generic fantasy setting, right? And they made it lighthearted and silly. And again, I'm fine with the movie. I liked it, but it really didn't feel like a Dungeons and Dragons or Forgotten Realms like serious movie. It felt like a silly fantasy comedy, right? And I'm a little worried because of those elements that this is going to be the same thing for Star Trek. Now, they do write those are competent films, right? And those are ones that are, as much as like, I'm critical of them, they do just kind of like act as a skin suit of the IP, and that kind of scares me on this because we already have so much of that. That's what Abrams verse is. That's what Secret Hideout and Alex Kurtzman's Discovery and Strange New Worlds are already. We don't need more of that. We need a serious Star Trek to really reset the tone of the entire universe and really, really just dial it back, right? And so this is, like I said, it's going to be a prequel movie, even though they're being sketchy about it on Deadline. And it's going to be something like that. So we need it to actually add something to the mythos of Captain Kirk and Spock and McCoy, and actually do it right and do it seriously and actually do honor to those character representations. So it is already tired. The whole concept of that is very, very tired, right? Because we have obviously two of those reboots already. We have the Chris Pine Captain Kirk. We have the Paul Wesley Captain Kirk. And of course, Chris Pine did it pretty well. Like I said, as a kind of caricature. Paul Wesley doesn't fit at all. He does not have the gravitas of it. So casting's very, very important for this. There's a lot that has to go right to make this work. But like I said, these guys do write competent films. They're better than Kurtzman. I mean, at least there's that. I mean, it is bottom of the barrel that we're talking about. Now, they reacted to it on X. Could not be more excited and honored. That's all they said. And I said, question, are you guys going to come at this like D&D, kind of like a half parody, or will it be played straight? I would love to get that answer. He's probably not going to respond to anything on here, but that's it. What are your thoughts on unification? What other people say? Star Trek is a fantasy that children have. What will it be like when I grow up? I don't know. World of advice: don't mess with the ship designs. The ship is the star. Good luck. I suggest you go more highbrow direction, put interesting sci-fi ideas. This is exactly what I said, rather than making it the typical action adventure that JJ and the TNG films did. Yes, this was a mistake all the way around. Look at the 6 original films and the idea of exploration of the original series, like the motion picture did. Excellent on that. Excellent analysis right there. That's exactly what they need to do to make this work. Ask Ronald D. Moore to dinner. Ask him what the process was into making Trials and Tribulations. If you can resist the urge to make everyone gay, that'd be great. Thanks. Yeah. I mean, that's a real concern in 2025, unfortunately. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I'm in the middle on it, as you could tell by the way that I'm doing this, which is never good for YouTube. YouTube, you have to like take off, this is going to be a disaster, right? Or this is going to be the best thing ever, right? You have to be one or the other. But like I said, these guys write competent films, but they also kind of do skin suit of IP films. So it is right in the middle of like, this could go decently well, or this could just be an ugly flop of a deal as well. And again, they don't say here that it's going to be Star Trek Origins, but that's all that's been talked about in development lately. And we'll see, because so if this goes into development now, we can maybe get this film by 2028. And it looks like that's when it'll be hitting. So that's about when Academy and Strange New Worlds will be going off the air. And that'll be a nice fresh start for the franchise, I guess. But I don't know where they're going to go with it from there, because if this is what they always flirt with. If they do a prequel leading up to the original series, like they did with 2009, like they're doing with Strange New Worlds, like they're doing with this. This is the third try at this. You know what they want to flirt with on this, which is a remake of the original series, and nobody wants that. So while this is an okay standalone thing, I wouldn't want this to be a thing, and I wouldn't want it to continue forward as a sort of reboot of the original series at all. I'd like them to be a one and done movie, and then move on to doing the Enterprise G or something like that, and making a next generation, because that's the only real way to really carry on the legacy of Star Trek and do it right. But nobody seems to want to do that for some reason. Why is that? Leave a comment down below with what you think. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Check out my Valiant Frontiers in the description below. Thanks for being here. We'll be back.